Now, what made you want to become a DJ yourself?
Just my passion for music. I've been in music since before I could remember. I was in kindergarten, and we had a violin program in kindergarten, and ever since then I was in music every single year in school. And actually my extracurricular activities were music as well. Like I played drums in bands. If I wasn't playing drums in bands, I had headphones in my ears no matter where I was throughout the house, in the car, get in trouble for it in school, always tapping on stuff. So music was always something that was just like embedded in me. And it wasn't until college. Well, I got my first pair of turntables at 15. Rob Principi, who started the Scratch DJ Academy with my dad, sent me my first pair of turntables for my birthday. Never had turntables in the house before then either. Like, dad never had turntables in the crib.
Jam Master Jay never had turntables in his house.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think he just kept it separate. He kept it separate from, kept work very separate from family. And like I said, like he kept shit very normal. So, yeah, I remember there being turntables at the house once, and I think it's because they were going back on the road. They had a few shows coming up, so he was just cleaning up, getting his voice right, getting his cuts down. But other than that, like he never really had them at the crib. I think he kept that at the studio.
Okay. Now, when it comes to people who have famous fathers, it's somewhat a gift and a curse when they go into almost anything entertainment related.
Yeah.
Most times, when people approach me and they're the cousin of so-and-so or the nephew of so-and-so or even the son of so-and-so, my thing is like, well, unless your famous father or uncle or whatever wants to join in this interview or this feature, I'm not really interested. So you'll almost end up, it almost ends up being harder sometimes to make it.
100%.
Did you encounter any of that?
Nah, not really. Like we kind of went about this in a very different way. Like I said, like I was raised normally. So I don't feel any type of entitlement towards anything. Like I wanted to be a pro skateboarder, like for the longest time. Like I played football all throughout high school. Like that was my thing in the suburbs of Virginia. So we didn't feel really any entitlement towards anything. But music was always in my blood. It was always a passion of mine. I spent most of my time doing that thing. But at the same time, it's like in a way when I did when I did fall into the DJ thing and I did fall into the producing thing, and I was being I guess kind of, if you want to say like people were like, yo, is he doing this because of that because his dad was a DJ? Is he doing this because he knows he has the easy in? And that actually wasn't the case at all. Like you said, it is a lot harder actually. Like people expect me to go and play like a full classic hip hop set. People book me for these things, but that's not even like what I actually want to do. Like I play like a lot of electronic music, it's the music that I want to produce. That's the shit that moves me, So like that's kind of what separates me, and I feel like that's what's been separating me from the get. It's like just my vision and what I kind of want to do with music, Similar vision to what Run DMC and Jam Master Jay did, but just kind of in a modern time.
Yeah. Now, what made you want to join the reality show?
Pretty much, I was like, yo, like this is a dope platform to kind of bring awareness to a lot of things that are going on. Kind of bring positive awareness back to JMJ and just kind of have his name in people's mouths again, and just kind of bringing up and just kind of putting a magnifying glass along like what we're doing as well as a crew and as a team and myself. And it was just a great opportunity. Like I have a close relationship with Angela. So when she called me to do it, I was like, yeah, this will be dope.
Sure. Now, what do you think is the one thing in common with all the other people on the show with having, famous fathers?
I think it's that we all like kind of go through the same issues, It's like just because we can kind of get into a room and we got the network, we got the connection, doesn't mean that we won't make a fool out of ourselves in that room and just make ourselves look really dumb, And that's kind of what everybody goes through, and we've been the whole TV show experience was dope. It was almost therapeutic in a way, like being around a bunch of kids that kind of go through the same shit, and I never really came about it or thought about it in that way, so it was dope.
No, absolutely. Now, how did you end up hooking up with ASAP Ferg? Because you're his like official DJ.
Yeah. So when I first moved to the city, I was DJing. I was interning at the Scratch DJ Academy, and I loved cutting, scratching, juggling, all that stuff. When I linked up with my manager, Clayton Barmore, we were thinking of visuals and just like cool shit to do that would be different from what was going on, you know? So my friend MP Williams and I collaborated to make the Pesos and Purple Swag. There were two of Rocky's singles at the time, and they were popping. Like, it was crazy. It was like when all that started. So I was like, dope, I'm gonna jump on this buzz. I'm gonna make a remix. I'm gonna do an ill routine with it, you know, in the middle of the street with my turntables, generator. Like, I brought skateboarding into the mix because that's like my passion as well. So we did that, and a bunch of blogs picked it up. Everybody's kind of like, yo, Jam Master Jay Son's out here doing some cool routines in the middle of the street with like a generator. Like, that's kind of wild. And that was like my first kind of just like my first imprint on the scene, you know? And they saw it because it didn't like go wildly viral, but like people were picking it up, you know? So they saw it, and every time we'd be at a party, I'd be DJing a party, they'd be hosting or anything like that, they'd be like, yo, like that video was dope, that was ill, like let's connect, let's do some shit. So like a few years go by, I think like a year and a half, 2 years, and I see them at the Drake Nothing Was the Same show in Brooklyn, and Drake brought out Rocky and Ferg, and we're backstage, and me and Ferg were just chopping it up, talking. He was introducing me to Ian, I think, and on some skateboard shit, and he was like, yo, actually, like, I want you to be my DJ, like, let's try to make that happen. I'm looking for a DJ. I was like, yo, bet, let me know, like, I'm down, like, because I was that kid dropping like work and Shabba in the clubs all the time, like all the remixes to everything, you know. So just to be able to be a part of that, for me, I was like, hell yeah, this should be super dope. And so kind of made it happen. It worked out. Poland was our first show, and it was with Redman and Method Man, or my first show with him. And it was dope ever since. Like, we've just been collaborating on really dope shit. Like, the live set is really incredible. Like, we moved it like ages, and also it's like I'm kind of his liaison in the electronic music scene, you know, like that's my world, and like that's a world that he's very embedded in as well, and so like that's kind of worked out to the point where it's like we could actually kind of like work together in that as well.
I understand that mindset because I like have that, like, because you don't believe in somebody so much, you just joke on them. Like, I'm gonna joke on you, I don't believe you. So I understand it, but you know, I want hip hop, period, like, to stop the shenanigans with that type of shit. Like, yo, motherfucker, rap, go rap.
My monthly overhead for my household and household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1 million a month I was spending.